Hello, this is Susan Woods of Susan Woods Nonprofit Solutions. Thank you very much for completing the Starting Nonprofit tutorials. They are intended to walk you through the 20 steps to starting a 501c3 nonprofit organization from scratch. This video message in the series focuses on step number 8, which is write the narrative description of activities. The narrative description of activities is the heart of the 501c3 application because it explains how your organization will implement the services in the community. The narrative is divided into past activities, present activities, and planned activities. You should use storytelling and visualizations to explain how your organization provided services in the past, how it is currently providing services, and how it will provide services in the future. The narrative description of activities is the longest document in your application packet because this is really where you sell your idea to the exemption specialist that's reviewing your application. You have to really use the narrative description of activities to prove that there is an absolute need in the community for what you want to provide. When I write narrative description of activities for my clients, I start off with a problem statement. The first thing they read in my narrative is a problem statement where I make a case for 501c3 status. In the problem statement, I just focus in on what is the problem my nonprofit organization will solve with 501c3 status. That's how I get started because it lays the foundation. If you start with writing the solution, then that throws the exemption specialist off, because they don't know what the solution is solving. So I recommend starting with a good problem statement to explain what's wrong in the community by defining the target group that you want to serve, how many are impacted by the problem, use real current statistical data to support the problem statement, and then lead into your narrative. Now, when you write your past activities, of course, you're talking about things that you've already done yourself that make you qualified to start this as a nonprofit. Most people who start nonprofit organizations have already performed these tasks in the community without a 501c3 status. For example, if you've always loved reading to children to help them improve their reading skills, and you've done that for years just because you enjoy doing it, that would be included in your past activities. Explain how you got involved, why you got involved, and what you get out of doing that. If you are currently reading to children presently in your present activities, then you want to document that in the present activities section and explain how you are continuing your reading classes, why you're doing it, describe the children who are in the class, their age, their income, where they live in the community, describe the community that you are serving. All of that should be in the present activities. And then in the planned activities is where you really, really go all out to explain what you plan to do pending 501c3 status. And you write this section from the perspective that you know you're going to get grant funding. That's how you write the planned activities, that you know you're going to get grant money. So you write it from a perspective of, if you don't have any limitations to money, what would you do? What would you implement? It doesn't matter how broad it seems. Write it down. If you have to break it down into, in the next 2 years, I plan to do this through my nonprofit. In the next 5 years, I plan to do this through my nonprofit. If you want to break it down that way, but your planned activities must really lay out what you want to do. Not only teaching children how to read, but how will the classes be set up? What are the hours of the classes? What's your daily routine? When people read your planned activities, They should be able to visualize very clearly a day in the life of your organization. If they walk into your classroom in the morning, what will they see? Describe it. Explain what topics are you going to teach? How are you going to evaluate the children's performance? How are you going to even choose which children are going to participate? Are you going to have an application process? How are you going to choose your employees? All of those things must be included in your narrative description of activities. And also, one last suggestion, I would bring in my qualitative objectives and my quantitative goals in my narrative as well as a reminder of the measurable objectives and the measurable goals that you plan to achieve through your nonprofit organization. The narrative is your chance. Again, it's the heart of your 501c3 application. So please take your time, write it carefully, write it thoroughly, write it transparently, and allow the exemption specialist that's reviewing your application to see the changes that you plan to make in your community. So this is the narrative description of activities, and it's step 8 of 20 of starting a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Again, I'm Susan Woods of Susan Woods Nonprofit Solutions. I started a 501c3 nonprofit organization in 2006. I offered 2 programs underneath my organization over a 10-year period. Although I don't offer any programs right now, I still have my 501c3 status because I file my Form 990N e-postcard every year indicating that I didn't generate any revenues, but I would like to keep my status just in case I decide to offer programs again in the future. I've earned 3 nonprofit management certificates, one from Duke University, one from Wake Forest University, and one from Winthrop University. I'm also a 3-time graduate of Winthrop University. I earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration, a Master of Arts in Teaching Business Education, and a Master of Business Administration degree. I teach in-person nonprofit classes and I also offer online nonprofit classes. I complete the Form 1023 application for recognition of exemption for clients across the country. So as you go through these tutorials, if you decide that you just do not want to go through the process of completing the application packet yourself, please visit my website at www.trustsusanwoods.com. Click on the reserve consultation link and let's talk about your 501c3 vision and the programs you would like to offer. Thank you again for participating in the Starting Nonprofits tutorial. I really appreciate your time. In this tutorial, we focused on step 7, which is writing the bylaws. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, please feel free again to visit my website at www.trustsusanwoods.com or send me a text message at 704-968-2769. Finally, once again, if you just want me to do all the work for you, I'm happy to do it. Just go to my website, click on the reserve consultation link, and let's get started. I'm Susan Woods of Susan Woods Nonprofit Solutions. Thank you for your time.